Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. As you can see from the title and clearly the look that I have got on right now, today we're going to be doing, I guess, a bit of a part 2 to W7's latest eyeshadow palette release, and we're going to be looking at the brand new Cool Down palette. I think a few of you have been quite excited about this palette because I had some comments on my previous video asking if I would be reviewing it too, and that is exactly what we're here to discuss today. So just a quick disclaimer as always, yes, W7 have sent me this palette in PR. However, they haven't asked me to make this video or any content associated with it. They are not paying me for this review. We're here to see if this Cool Down palette is any good or not. There will of course as always be timestamps in the description box in case you want to skip ahead to any section of the video. And let's start by jumping in to the details for this palette. Alright, so this is of course the Cool Down palette from W7, and in terms of the details it's going to be pretty quick because it is the exact same thing as the Warm Up palette and their other 40 pan palettes. This one retails for $14.95 and contains 36 grams of product, so a little bit less than 1 gram per shadow, and our cost per gram is 42p per gram, which as always with W7 is very, very affordable. And I always forget to mention this, but I do have a discount code with W7 which I think is AUROR10. It will be up on the screen now. It isn't an affiliate code, so I don't earn anything from it, but it will give you 10% off your orders from W7. This is another pressed pigment palette, so as always I do have high expectation when it comes to the pigmentation of this one, and it is also vegan and vegetarian friendly. Now when we open it up, I do have to say that the shades inside do kind of correspond to what we have on the box pretty well, which I suppose was my criticism of the Warm Up palette. I wasn't super excited by it though, guys, I do have to say. It gives me similar vibes to the Too Faced Born This Way palette dupe, I can never remember the name, or the Sweet Cocoa we recently saw. Just a lot of those brownie pinks, which I don't always think W7 is the best at doing. It just kind of gave me a little bit of deja vu. So yeah, didn't feel super excited by it when I first saw it, but I haven't swatched it yet, so we're gonna jump into that right now. Let's have a look and see if these shades get me a little bit more excited. Guys, I'm so happy that the weather is getting really, really nice again, but I forgot the part where if you then film on a Sunday when the weather's really nice, everyone is like doing their DIY and mowing their lawn and all that, so it's really noisy outside. Haven't got my window open just yet because it's still really cold, so I don't know if any of those noises are coming across on camera. If they do, there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. So let's do the first half of the palette. I'm gonna do it column by column again rather than row by row. That seemed to work quite well last time. First up we have the shade Composed. Then we have Time Out, Shiver, Coolio, spelt with a K, Hold Back. Can you guys see the fallout on those? That brown Coolio, very, very pigmented. Then we have Bear, Shower, Chillax, Frosty K, Bitter, Hydrate, Unclad, Pant, Soothe, Control, On Ice, Bite, Crisp, and then I've once again run out of space. I've got Break and I've got Stiffen down here. All right, there we go. So first off, I'm gonna say this is actually quite a nice harmony. I do really, really like the color story that's going on here. I think that this alone could be one palette. I don't feel like I need 40 shades of this. There are some nice shades in here, a couple of really nice metallics. That pink up top is very pretty, very reflective. This one's really pigmented. I have to say, I feel like I got a little bit more excited about the metallics in the Warm Up palette. I don't know, there's none so far that I'm going like, oh wow, okay, actually I really, really want to use these. Again, very pretty color story, but not super exciting. Let me do the other half. Let's see if that's also what I feel there. All right, so moving on, we've got Restrain, Strip, and Tremble, Nippy, Loosen Up, Wet. Okay, there we go. That's an exciting metallic. That looks really, really nice. Pause, Fresh, Diamond, Tame, Blow, Check Yourself, Freeze, Breathless, Go Easy, Chill Pill, Arctic, Unveil. I've still got a swatch I haven't removed properly, haven't I? Let me get that off, guys. And finally, Airy, and Frigid. Alright, so there's the second half of the palette. Kind of similar feelings. I feel like it's pretty, but it's just not getting me super excited. We do have a couple of shades that I do like the look of. This one's very nice. Chill Pill, the silver. I have actually got it on my eyes right now. It has swatched a lot better than it has come up on my eyes. I did use my finger, you guys are gonna see that. Maybe the issue that I had is that I laid it on top of something else. Maybe I should try using it by itself, because I wasn't fully convinced by it when I used it on my eye, but swatched there, it looks really nice. But yeah, again, it's okay. There's nothing about these swatches that is really making me super excited. It's just alright. It's just alright. I feel like there's a lack of variety. That's what I'm thinking so far when I see them. I feel like I'm just seeing a lot of the same colours that I did on the first half. I'm kind of thinking, was this necessary to make this a £40 palette? That's where I am at the moment. I'm just not feeling super excited. So let's leave the swatches there. We're gonna move on into the tutorial and you guys can see how the eyeshadows performed on the eye. Alright guys, my eyes are primed as always with my P. Louise base, and I feel like keeping things quite simple today. I don't think I'm in the mood for a cut crease or anything, but I really want to focus on those grey shades, which we don't have a ton of. So I'm gonna start off with the shade Arctic on my Morphe M124, and that's gonna go up and around my crease. And that's a really lovely shade of grey. Look at that. And we are going to go for a rounded shape, so I'm just going to come underneath, do the lower lash line as well. And then I'm just going to come and blend it in with a Zoeva 231 just to soften it out. I just find it makes blending that first shade out a little bit easier. Do you think I'm going to take a little bit more at the back because I feel like it's going a bit patchy. Alright, there really isn't a ton of blending shades when it comes to the greys. So next I'm going to take the shade Frosty K on my Morphe M456. No, not M456, 506. I think I want to keep this look quite small anyway, like quite round and concentrated. But it would be nice to have a few more greys. This palette definitely does lean in more to the pink side than the grey side. Would have liked to see a bit more variety. I feel like this grey has a warmer undertone than the one that I was using before. The first one was very clearly like a bluey grey. This one just feels a bit more yellowy, and I'm not sure they are blending out that great. Okay, getting there. I feel like it's not looking great right now because one grey is just more cool toned and the other one's a bit warmer, and I feel like it just looks a bit weird right now. So yeah, we're gonna leave that there. All right, next up I'm gonna take a Morphe M456 and I'm gonna go into the shade Frigid, which is the black. That looks all right so far. I'm gonna be quite careful with this. There is another grey shade called Tame, which I did want to use, but again, it is more of a warmer undertone. I like having the mixture of the greys in terms of the undertones, but then I feel like I need two of each, if that makes sense, like to work together. I don't like the fact that we only seem to have one cool toned one. Or it would have been nice to see some other darker shades, like a really nice stormy blue or stormy green. Anyway, this black is going on pretty well. It doesn't look like it's entirely matte from the pan, but I'm not really seeing any shimmer going on or anything. Yeah, that's quite nice. Quite easy to work with so far. We're gonna see how it blends though. So now I'm gonna go back into my Zoeva 231 that I used to blend out Arctic, and I've picked up a bit more of it. Still trying to keep the overall blend quite small. I do like how dark and smoky it is looking right now. Okay, Okay, that's blended out really, really nicely. Just giving me that grey smokiness that I was after. So that is going well. And then again on my Morphe M506, I'm gonna go in with Frosty K, and we're gonna finish that off. It's right. It's right now. You know what, I'm not gonna add any extra product. I'm just gonna take my Morphe M514 just to finish the blending off. I feel like the M506 was giving me too much of a harsh edge. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of Frosty K to this side. Okay, the blend of the black into the grey I really, really like, but then the two greys in together like this edge, I don't really like it. And again, I do feel like it's because those two greys have got a slightly different undertone. It's just not really working for me, and it's a little bit of a shame. I just needed just another really cool toned grey just to finish it off really nicely. All right, for the lid, we've got some really, really cool looking shades that I really, really want to try out. The first one being the shade Diamond, which is a grey with some sparkle in it. I'm just going straight in with my finger. I think I was expecting a little bit more pigmentation wise, especially considering I'm using my finger. I haven't added any base, by the way. Maybe that's my mistake. You know what? I'm gonna try a brush, and I'm gonna try spraying the brush. Let's see what happens. Let's spray that. Okay, that is actually making a difference. Okay, definitely a shade that you either need to spray or use like a glitter glue or something underneath. I feel like I expected it to have a little bit more intensity. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of Arctic, just on my Zoeva 231. Oh, and then on the sides, I'm gonna take some of Bitter, which is a darker shade. I think I'm gonna have to spray that again. And let's see what happens. I expected that to be a bit darker as well. Yeah, I think I expected those to have a little bit more intensity. I'm also just going to take a little bit of Frigid again, right on the edges. And then just back into my Zoeva 231. I'm going to pop on a bit more of Diamond as well. I feel like maybe it's gotten a bit lost. I think I need a bit of sparkle on the lower lash line as well, so I'm going to use some of the shade Bitter. Blend in with my M456 again. And then again with my finger, I'm going to take some of Chill Pill just to brighten that up in the middle. Okay, that is definitely more of the intensity that I was expecting. Add some more of Diamond on the sides, and then take my M456. And then I'm going to take some of it underneath on, what is this, an M508. And then same brush, some of Diamond. I do want to try one more shade, I think. I'm just going to take on my finger again. I'm going to go in with On Ice. No, okay, it's just brightened up the center a little bit. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side just to balance it out. But it's not like overly metallic or anything, and I really thought we would get something really, really bright and metallic. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of On Ice just on a brush. I mean, that's a really nice light color to highlight with. It's not adding much, is it? And it looks super sparkly in the pan as well. So no, I feel like this was a palette where we'd get some really cool, really intense sparkles. Like, I can see the micro glitter in there. Could it be giving me a bit more? I feel like it could. Let me pop a bit more on just to see if we can get a bit more sparkle. Yeah, I can see what the palette was going for, but I feel like I wanted it to just be kicked up a notch. I'm just gonna grab my Inglot eyeliner. This is the black one, and I'm gonna do a really, really simple wing. I'm gonna try and keep this one quite skinny and more of a straight line than I normally go for. We'll see how that goes. I'm realising now this probably would have been a little bit easier with a pen, so I'm just gonna grab my Clinique High Impact liner. And then I'm going to do a wing on the inside as well. I Okay, I got there eventually, although I think it's going to take a little bit of fixing up with a concealer. I'm just going to jump back into the Inglot liner now, just on a angled brush. This is one by Beauty Bay. I'm just going to pop that on my waterline. And then I'm just going to kind of connect the waterline up using the pen. Alright, I'm going to leave the eye look here. I know it's pretty simple and I haven't experimented with a ton of colours, but I did really want to see how those greys blended in together. I do think the final smoky eye is really cute, but again, I feel like I expected a little bit more sparkle from some of those shades. So anyway, I'm going to go and finish the rest of my makeup off camera. I am going to add gems, but I'm feeling really lazy today. So again, that will be off camera because I like to do it once the rest of my makeup is on. And when I come back, we'll have a chat about my final thoughts on the palette. Alright guys, so here's the finished look. I hope as always that you like it. I did go very warm on the cheeks to contrast with the coolness of the eyeshadow, but I don't think it's coming across on camera. It never does. My blush never properly comes across on camera. And then for the lips, I went more neutral. I went with Taupe Hope from number 7, which I posted a short about recently. Oh, and of course I added the gems, which I did mention. I didn't go overboard. It just adds a little something to it. Just makes it a bit more exciting. So I do really like how the look has come together, but it is now time for my final thoughts on the palette. I have to say, echoing the thoughts that I had at the start of the video, I don't feel super excited about this one. I have to get it out of the way. I have to say it. Trying the palette hasn't really turned things around in terms of my first impression. Quality-wise, I didn't have any issues with blending, which was really nice because, you know, sometimes more cool tone shades, that is where you can have problems. They're not as easy to work with as like warm browns. So I didn't really have any issues in quality. I just also didn't get really excited about anything. The shade Chill Pill, I did say in the swatches, it definitely swatched beautifully. So I feel like maybe the way that I finished off the look didn't come out as exciting as it could have done. I do feel like maybe where I went wrong is not using something like a glitter glue or a black base or even just a normal fresh base, just a little something extra for them to stick to. I think maybe that is where I went wrong. Spraying the brush definitely did help a little bit with Diamond, but I just felt like I expected more from that one. I thought it was going to be a really pretty intense shimmer. It was just a little bit underwhelming. I just think that this colour scheme that we've got now, it just didn't need to be a £40 palette. I don't need 40 nude shades, unfortunately. I just think there was more that could have been done to be a bit more exciting. Still have the rose gold, still have the greys, in fact have more greys and a couple of blues, a couple of greens, like really dark stormy ones. I feel like it could have been really interesting. It just reminds me of other things and I think it could have been done better if it was smaller. I don't need 40 neutral shades. It's giving Morphe. It's giving Morphe. I'm sorry. I love you, W7. There wasn't anything that just made this palette incredible for me. I feel like we could have done it a little bit better. Anyway guys, that wraps up today's video. I hope as always that you enjoyed it. Do let me know whether you've already bought this palette in the comments or if you're thinking of buying it, because if this is your color scheme, if you feel like you're gonna get a lot of use out of it, the quality is absolutely fine, but to me that is just it. This palette is just fine. It's not standing out to me. It's just not W7's best work. Listen, your next £40 palette, I want colour, I want something you haven't done before, I want it to be exciting, and that's not what this palette was for me, unfortunately. So guys, if you enjoyed today's video, then do please as always make sure to give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of it, and if you haven't already, then do make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys!